The pride and joy of a nation is its flag. Its colors and arrangement makes it significant and stunningly beautiful. On Wednesday, February 6th, it's National Colors Day. Every proud Grenadian is asked to deck off in clothing highlighting the colors of our flag. Whether you are dressed for work, daily routines, or casual engagements, showcase the true Grenadian spirit. Every ministry, every department, and all workplaces are encouraged to join in. National Colors Day, Wednesday, February 6, 2019. Endorsed by the National Celebrations Committee. Our people, our colors, our day. On Wednesday, February 6th, National Colors Day.
Grenada's plans to transform the agriculture sector highlighted at international meeting in Guyana. Details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, January 29th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. Some of Grenada's plans to transform the agriculture sector took the spotlight at the 17th session of the Committee for the Review of the Implementation of the UN Convention to Combat Desertification, or UNCCD, being held in Guyana. The plans were highlighted by this country's Agriculture Minister, the Honorable Yolande Bain Hosford, who is among more than 400 delegates from all over the world. A major talking point is the link between desertification, land degradation, and climate change. Minister Bain Hosford spoke to some of the initiatives to tackle the challenges.
Grenada undertook the setting up of the voluntary land degradation neutrality (LDN) targets, and that should be achieved by 2030. And the targets were increase the fertility and productivity of 580 hectares of cropland by 2030, transform 800 hectares of abandoned cropland into agroforestry by 2030. Implement soil conservation measures on 120 hectares of land by 2030. Rehabilitation of 385 hectares of degraded land at Bellevue South in Carriacou, that's an island near to Grenada, small island, by 2030. Rehabilitation of 100 hectares of degraded forest in Grenada and Carriacou by 2030. And increase forest carbon stocks by 10% by 2030. These are the targets that we hope to achieve.
The Agriculture Minister also provided information on a Moroccan government-funded project that relates to soil mapping.
Regarding soil care, the transformative project funded by the Moroccan government, we started a project in soil care and the mapping of the soil, etc. in Grenada. We now have almost completed that project. We can hand over to the farmers now pretty soon information so that they can do the proper planting, they can know the fertility of the soil, they can know how much fertilizer to put in their soils, what not to put, and that kind. So they'll have a status on their soils in Grenada. We have done that project. It's almost completed. And that would be a plus for the farmers, knowing, how much fertilizer to add to their soil, what they can, do to their soil, knowing how healthy their soils are and what they can plant, and the timing and all of that. All of that is part of the whole soil care program in Grenada, and it's going very well.
Grenada is also represented at the meeting by Mr. Trevor Thompson, focal point for the UN Convention to Combat Desertification. The convention will conclude on Wednesday. The government of Grenada has made good on a promise to introduce traffic wardens as part of innovative efforts to bolster the work of the traffic department of the Royal Grenada Police Force. The move comes against the background of a significant increase in the number of vehicles on the nation's roads, a growing number of traffic offences committed by motorists, and an ongoing need to safeguard pedestrians. Addressing the 60 persons who are being trained as the first group of traffic wardens, Minister for Transport, the Honourable Gregory Bowen, said this is the first component of the solution to fix the traffic situation.
Every year, during the last 5 years, from 2013 to 2018, the increase in registration was 42%. For ease of calculation, and if we use a 50%, that is, if the number of vehicles, the registration number increased by 1,000 in 2013, there will be an increase of 500. So the increase in the next year will be 1,500. And the next year will be 2,200. So between that period and now, the actual number was in the range of 19,000 vehicles, which approached now 36,000 vehicles. That is a task that we have to address. And you are in the forefront.
Minister Bowen urged the traffic wardens to maintain a harmonious relationship with the motorists and pedestrians alike, and he encouraged them to pay particular attention to the customer service training, which forms part of their course. Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Edward Martin, cited traffic management as a great challenge for law enforcement daily and expressed optimism that the traffic wardens will improve the efficiency of the traffic department.
Traffic management is a major challenge for law enforcement on a daily basis. And even when there is no law enforcement issue requiring the RGPF's attention, the challenges associated with traffic management remains omnipresent. This challenge is further exacerbated by the fact that the number of registered vehicles on island has increased by an average of 68% over the last 5 years and continues to grow. This makes traffic management not only challenging, but also a critical operational matter requiring law enforcement attention on a 24-hour basis, 7 days a week. It is also safe to say that the sheer increase in the volume of traffic, when combined with individual driver and pedestrian negligence, as well as non-compliance with our traffic regulation, are major drivers to the increase in accidents we are witnessing currently. The traffic warden system is considered to be a critical element among a number of other strategies to be implemented to effectively address the current and future challenges related to traffic management.
The Ministry of Health is developing a national emergency unit for Grenada. The intention is to enhance the ministry's ability to efficiently respond to emergencies in the quickest possible time.
We held 2 meetings with key stakeholders to develop a policy to govern that response team. One of our objectives of this initiative is to have ambulance placed in strategic places, our location, to respond to emergencies. Why we want to do that? Is it an effort to reduce our response time? As we all know, there are delays in our response time. We hear it on the media and so on. And to provide quality care in a timely manner.
That's Ms. Joanna Humphrey, Deputy Director of Hospital Services. She was speaking during the handover of an ambulance to the Crash Fire Rescue Department at the Morris Bishop International Airport. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
It is here again, it is here again. The Made in Grenada Expo is here again. And I just hope the whole of Grenada ready, because I sung in a clarion call. The Made in Grenada Expo is here again. The Made in Grenada Expo is on February 7th, and the public is encouraged to come out and give full support and buy out all local products on show. Products manufactured right here in Grenada, 100% Grenadian, and it's happening right here at the National Stadium. Are taking in the Independence Parade and the Made in Grenada Expo one time. I am so excited. That's why I'm making a fireside. I bring my tent, my blanket and all kind of thing, and I'm camping right here until everything done on February 7th. The Made in Grenada Expo is here again.
Your new Independence Monarch, celebrating 45 years. Give it up for Sour Serpent!
Sour Serpent Sean Niles is still savouring the taste of victory in the Independence Calypso competition, which was held at the Sater's bus terminus on Saturday. 14 Calypsonians competed for the title, which was captured last year by Rootsman Kelly, who did not take part in the competition this year. Top Cat placed second, followed by German superstar Simon third, Baraka fourth, and The Messenger fifth. Acting Minister for Culture and the Arts, the Honourable Kate Lewis, says this is a proud moment for Grenadians as the country celebrates 45 years as an independent nation.
As we look back on our 45 years, we can do so with pride and dignity. Because as a nation, as a people, we have made tremendous strides despite the challenges that we have had to overcome.
Other major activities that are yet to come include the cultural extravaganza on Saturday, February 2nd, the ecumenical service on February 3rd, village beautification and oil dunk competition February 5th, National Colors Day on February 6th, and the National Parade at the National Stadium on February 7th. And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
It's February 7th. It's our nation's birthday. It's time for the biggest celebration in our nation's history as we celebrate the 45th anniversary of our independence. Folks from all walks of life from all over Grenada will head on down to the Carriacou James Athletic Stadium from 12 p.m. It's the Made in Grenada Expo, a showcase of locally produced goods and services offered on display. As you enter the Independence Village, experience steel band music, big drum dancers from Carriacou, Tambu Bamboo, Shortney, Jab Malasi, poetry, singing, live music, Solid the Band, everything Grenadian. At 3:30 p.m. military parade onto the Carriacou James Athletic Stadium, followed by the Independence Rally, cultural pieces, Prime Minister's address, one fun-filled afternoon, not to be missed. Organize your rides, your buses, your motorcade, and head on down to the Carriacou James Athletic Stadium. Thursday, February 7th, celebrating under the theme, building resilience and enhancing social and economic transformation.
The pride and joy of a nation is its flag. Its colors and arrangement makes it significant and stunningly beautiful. On Wednesday, February 6th, it's National Colors Day. Every proud Grenadian is asked to deck off in clothing highlighting the colors of our flag. Whether you are dressed for work, daily routines, or casual engagements, showcase the true Grenadian spirit. Every ministry, every department, and all workplaces are encouraged to join in. National Colors Day, Wednesday, February 6, 2019. Endorsed by the National Celebrations Committee. Our people, our colors, our day. On Wednesday, February 6, National Colors Day.
I think we have corrected the problem. As I was saying, welcome to another of our post-cabinet press briefings. This morning, we have quite a bit to talk about. We have with us the Minister for Youth, Sports, Culture and the Arts, Senator Nolan Cox, and we know that we will be talking independence, and there are a couple of other announcements that he will be making. The Minister for Education, Human Resource Development and Religious Affairs, Minister Emmeline Pear, and she has brought with her two other staff members from the Ministry of Education. We have Mr. Curlin Peters, who is the Deputy Assistant Coordinator of Sports, and also Jerry Alexis, the Curriculum Development Officer for Physical Education and Sports in the Ministry of Education. Welcome to one and all. And again, listeners, viewers, thank you for joining us. Minister Cox, I will come to you first of all. Independence, we write in the midst of celebrations. The actual day is coming upon us. The people of Petite Martinique are actually celebrating as we speak. Tell us, what are the updates you have for us as it relates to our Independence Celebrations 2019?
Thank you very much, Madam Press Secretary, and pleasant morning to listeners, and also a pleasant morning to all media personnel here this morning. It's always a pleasure to be given an opportunity to update the nation and how we're progressing on various initiatives, and the most important one for us right now is the celebration of our 45th independence. I believe when we speak about independence, we must put into context the genesis of independence. And this is an important opportunity for us to recognize the father of our independence, so Eric Machaguri, for the vision that he has laid out for us and for us to be where we are today. And so I just want to believe that it's important for us to recognize that. Yes, we have a number of activities taking place to celebrate and to commemorate our independence. And the theme for this year's celebration, as we know, is building resilience and also looking at the whole issue of our economic situation, also economic and social transformation. And that theme basically transcends through what the theme for our budget for 2019 also speaks to. So it is strategically done in that regard. So we have Carriacou, Petite Martinique celebrating today, and Carriacou will be celebrating their activities tomorrow. We want to wish them all the best and ask persons to go out and give them all the support that is necessary to make those events very successful. We had a number of successful events thus far. We had our motorcade, we had our Calypso competition that was well attended. From our reports, we had more turnout this year than previous years, and we take this opportunity, having those feedbacks, to say a special thank you to all the persons who have been working with us in the various communities, volunteering, and also our patrons who come out to express themselves in the importance of celebration of this important activity, our independence. I think it's also fitting for us to recognize the work that our National Celebrations Committee have been doing. They have been working pretty hard, and we want to thank them for their support. And also the various private initiatives in the various communities for commemorating independence, persons that are doing their own thing, and we want to also thank them for doing that and to encourage them to continue to do so. Every participation that we can get from every aspect of our community to resonate with our celebration, we welcome that very much. And so going forward, we have this Saturday, our extravaganza taking place at the Grenville bus terminus. And on Sunday, we have our church service in St. George's. We start at 3 o'clock at the Anglican Church in St. George's. Coming up next week, we have, on the 6th, we have our National Colors Day, where we look forward to everybody coming out in the national colors, expressing that it's green and gold that represents Grenada proudly. So we're looking forward to persons doing that. Also, and then we have our big celebration on Thursday the 7th. This year, we had, for a change of venue, we at the same site, but at a different proximity. We had the Kirani James Athletic Stadium because the cricket stadium is not available because we're preparing for cricket in the next couple of weeks. And so we have to give the ground enough time to prepare for us to have a successful hosting of West Indies and England. So in a nutshell, these are the core activities that is centered around our celebration for independence. On the day, we have a number of cultural and heritage performance, people coming from, big drum coming from Carriacou. Also, we have everything that you can speak about culture will be on display come Thursday the 7th for our National Independence Celebration. So we want to extend invitation to everyone, continue to come out, support the various community initiatives, and also support the national celebration activities. On this note, I just want to move quickly to two announcements regarding Spice Mass. And the first one has to do with our soca artists. We are very proud and excited that 5 of our soca artists have made their way to the semi-finals. In Trinidad, 2 artists in the semi-finals for the Groovy Monarch, and 3 in the Power Soca Monarch taking place for Trinidad and Tobago's Carnival 2019. The 5 persons for the Power Soca, we have Little Natty and Thunder, and I think it's important that I give the correct name, Dingan Henry, Little Natty, and Neilon Williams, Thunder, and also known as Wasways. They are reigning Soca Monarch here in Grenada, and they have been representing Grenada proudly throughout the world, and we want to congratulate them on making it to the semis. Also, we have our veteran, Mr. Keeler Hollis Map. He's also in the semis. And we have Mr. Legs, Hector Thomas, who is also in the semis for the Power Soca. For the Groovy, we have Vaughn, he's Javon John, sorry. He's has been touring the world and bringing Grenada with him everywhere he goes. So he's in the semis for the Groovy. And Mandela Links, also correct name, Mandela McDonald, with his Jab Jab song, rocking Trinidad and also the entire world. So we believe that we have a solid representation, and we see no reason why neither 1 or 2 or maybe all of them can make it to the finals for the respective events. We are giving them all the necessary support that we can as a ministry and Spice Mass as a corporation, and wish them all the best for 2019. Also, we just want to indicate also all of our artist songs are trending throughout the region and internationally. So even those who have not expressed interest in getting involved in competition in Trinidad, they have been doing well. In one person in particular, Jab King, he is in Trinidad just promoting his music, and he's doing excellent. And so we want to just commend all the other Calypso artists for taking Grenada far and wide through their art form, and that is very important. And from Spice Mass and the Ministry of Culture, we just want to recognize that and wish them all the best. The second announcement, sometime in 2018, I think the 16th of May 2018, the former CEO of Spice Mass Corporation would have tendered his resignation. And we, again, want to place on record our thanks to him for his contribution, for carrying Spice Mass over the years and taking it to where it is today. And so we wish him all the best moving forward. And he has communicated that his intention to resign publicly as well. So with that, Spice Mass and the Ministry of Culture, we did indicate that we are going to walk through the process to appoint someone new. And today we want to take this opportunity to inform the public that officially Mr. Kelvin Jacob has been appointed as the new CEO for Spice Mass Corporation, and who will commence that job, that responsibility from Friday, the 1st of February. We look forward to working with Mr. Jacob. He has a wealth of experience in the cultural arena. He has done some work adjudicating several cultural events. He's a teacher. He's an educator. He has been doing that for a number of years. And with his background, academically as well, strong academic background in the particular area, he holds a master's degree in Carnival Studies. And we believe that with all these attributes, he can make a significant contribution towards moving Spice Mass and Carnival in Grenada from 2019 and beyond. So this is the announcement as regards to Spice Mass. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Cox. I now invite Minister Peer to make an opening statement. Of course, we did promise recently when she was here that we will come back to you to officially launch the Grenada Secondary School Games. So she's here in that vein this morning.
Thank you very much, Philo, and let me say good morning to all of the members of the media represented here this morning, and also the persons who may be viewing or listening to this live broadcast. Last week, on this press conference, I would have indicated government's intention to hold a national secondary school games. This morning, we are here, and we do have two of the technical persons, both from Ministry of Sports and Ministry of Education, and they are going to be giving us a lot of the technical information as it relates to the meet. However, this morning I want to just inform you that since last Tuesday's announcement, we would have met with the principals of the secondary schools. We met also with physical education teachers. Those meetings, of course, with the principals was to inform them of government's intention and the decision taken by government to proceed to have the National School Games in light of the fact that the Principal Association would not be able to host the game intercall this year. Subsequently, we would have appointed Mr. Colin Peters as chairperson of the organizing committee and Mr. Jerry Alexis as deputy chair. Mr. Colin Peters being the assistant coordinator of sports in the Ministry of Sports, and Mr. Jerry Alexis, the curriculum development officer for physical education and sports in the Ministry of Education. Just to inform you, and Mr. Peters would give some more details to that in terms of the official dates that we are proposing and the dates that we've agreed to. The 6th, 15th, and 22nd of March, those dates would be assigned as zonal meets, and Mr. Peters would give details as to what exactly that means. Additionally, and that would be the culmination, the 5th of April would be the national meet at the National Stadium. So the zonal meet would be at the parish level and the national meet at the National Stadium. Just want to express gratitude. Many persons have been calling to indicate their support for the games and to also indicate that they are volunteering in one way or the other, whichever way they can be utilized to make this a success. In addition to that, I also want to say that all of these meets would be regular school days, so we will be having the participation of the students and teachers at those meets. Sponsorship. I recall a question was asked on the last press conference as to whether we've identified a sponsor. Thus, for a number of private companies have been calling to express interest. We have not settled as to whether we are going with one title sponsor or whether or not we're going to have a number of private sector companies contributing to the sports meet. So at this time, I want to hand over to Mr. Peters, who would give more technical information.
I want to say thank you for the opportunity. Morning to all the listeners and viewers. It's always a pleasure to be here to discuss sports. I must start by saying this season, sports season, or sports season in general, in this term usually, the most exciting term in school and in most of our athletes and students' career and life. They look forward to the track and field season, they look forward to the hits, they look forward to sports in general. So when the opportunity displays itself, we, at the ministry, we saw it fit that we must actually give the support to make sure that our athletes, our students, get the opportunity to compete. And we have been promoting for a while our parish coordinator program, our community programs to help develop the sports to the community. Remember the days that we have all the sports in the different village and the excitement that it brought to us. So our coaches have been all day working in the parish to help develop all aspects of the sporting need, both at the community level, at the school level. So the idea of introducing the zone sports to help to fill the need of the absence of the intercall games, it was not difficult. The zones are already established. If you remember from our school days, you know, we have the Southern Games. We had brought in the Southern Games 2 years ago in Tanti, in the stadium. The schools in the Southern region basically is from Wester Hall, those in St. George's Town, and Boca. This sports will be held at Tantin on the 6th of March. The objective of all the sports is basically to act as a preliminaries for the final on the 5th of April at the National Stadium. We'll have all the categories. We have from the under 9, we'll have some invitational race for the primary schools. We'll have under 15, under 17, under 20, and 20 plus. The best time finals, so the best two persons from each category will go on to the final at the National Stadium. As the minister has alluded, we met with the coaches, we met with the PE teachers, and we expect the support. The sports on the 15th of March, we'll move to the western side at Cuthbert Peters Park for the schools from Happy Hill, go up to McDonald College, St. Louis, all the schools in that region. On the 22nd of March, we'll move to Grenville. The eastern side will take up from St. David's Catholic, go up to all the schools in St. Andrews. And we'll also include Carriacou and Petit Martinique in the northern zone on that same day. As I mentioned, the objective is to give the athletes competition, to give them a higher level of competition that will help boost the performance and the participation, enabling them to get better time, better standards, so that we could all be happy at the end of the day. You know, we're preparing our national teams for CRFM games, our national team for all the games, Winona Islands games in July, and we need our teams. Someone may ask, they asked me a question, why only track and field? The zonal meet, we start with track and field. Basically, someone will say, because you're from track and field, but track and field is the foundation of our sports, basically. We get the artists from there and they go to football, basketball, netball. But our objective in the Ministry of Sports is to run this competition annually in all our sport. So we are using this competition. We are starting with track and field. It's the track and field season. We'll also collaborate with the Basketball Association and the basketball and our senior coach within the Ministry of Sports to run some basketball zonal competition in aid to select our national team to represent us at the Winona Islands Games in Dominica. We're also doing so at volleyball and football, because we need to continue our progress in sports. From last week, we had the Canadian national team training in our stadium, and it was wonderful seeing them training. We look at some of the tournaments. We have under 19 national team training in football. We have under 16 national team training in 14. We had the Billfish tournament. We had the Volcano here against Jamaica. We're preparing to host England and West Indies at our national stadium. We're not looking backward in sports. We are aiming to improve on what we have been doing over the years, and we're using the opportunity to help as an audit our sporting program. The aim is to get these students into a sporting activity. You know, people say, why you don't have sports? But what if we do not have sports? Can you imagine a place without sports? A Jamaica without sports? A Grenada without sports? You know, the objective will remain the same. You know, I would have been in the same position here if the intercall was on, promoting the intercall, promoting the national primary school games. I'm here today asking your support to come out and support our athletes, our students, in competition at the different zones, so that we can come out at the national school games, national secondary school games on the 5th of April with all success, and prepare our national teams and prepare the athletes that are looking forward to gain scholarship opportunities so that they can go out. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peters. I invite Mr. Alexis to also provide some more technical details from his perspective.
Good morning and to our viewers, and thank you, Philo. As a Ministry of Education, we basically understand the importance of creating that balance between physical education, sports, and academics. You know, I think they basically work as a marriage. One complements the other. And we would have seen fit that with all the sporting activities that would have been cancelled from last term, September term, and going into this term, where Intercall would have been the last meet, you know, to finish the sporting season, we saw it fit that in the absence of it, that we definitely have to do something for the kids in order for them to get themselves active. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity for us, because many of us know that many of our students are looking forward towards scholarships. You know, the opportunity to get into a junior college, into the United States or in some university out there. And sports is one of the platforms for that. So when we realized that, you know, this wasn't happening, we see it fit to seize the opportunity to make sure we have something in place so these kids could compete on a level that will provide that opportunity for them. And myself being in charge of physical education and sports, I would have welcomed the idea from from our minister and immediately collaborated with Mr. Peters at the Ministry of Sports. So we see it as a wonderful opportunity now so the kids could compete. At least they could get some physical activity. We all know all the benefits of physical activity, the health benefit, the mental benefit, the psychological benefit of physical activity and sports that these kids that can derive from these activities. So we just want to ask the public, to support this activity. We are doing this for the kids and for the many students that are looking forward at the end of this to get an opportunity maybe to further their education. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, the floor is now open for questions. You would recall that the minister made reference to independence activities and also announcements regarding the appointment of a new CEO for Spice Mass Corporation and the fact that we have 5 of our local artists in the semi-finals in competition in Trinidad and Tobago. That's definitely something for us to be proud of. And Minister Pear and the other 2 gentlemen, they would have course, have spoken about the plans for the National Secondary School Games, which will, as you heard, take the form of zonal competitions with the finals at the National Stadium on April 5th. Please identify yourself and your media house before you ask your question. Thanks.
Sherry and Noel, GIS. I have a couple of questions for Senator Cox, and it has to do with the issue of Carnival. The first question I want to ask is in terms of the 5 soca artists that you have made mention of, will the ministry be given any support to them? And part 2, there was a statement that made heavy circulation on social media, a statement that was made by Ms. Fian Lyons as it pertains to the monarch in Trinidad with this handshake, and that the monarch will be coming to Grenada. I know in the past the Grenada monarch goes over, but in her interview, she said that they have a handshake with Grenada, and whosoever is the recognized monarch in TNT will be coming to Grenada. Can you shed any light on that, as if there is some other arrangement that we would see Trinidad monarch participating in Grenada's Carnival in 2019?
Thank you very much. As regards to the artists, let me take that first part of the question, the first question. As a ministry, we have always given support to artists when they are partaking in that event in Trinidad, and so it will be no different now as to what extent those discussions have been held with Spice Mass and the various managers and artists to see how we can help them going forward. But that is something that we always do. Maybe it's not announced, but we always provide support, so it's not going to be any different. As regards to the interview that was made, I think at the radio station in Trinidad, we had some discussions with Trinidad when we engaged Trinidad in looking to provide an avenue for artists to get involved in the International Power Soca Monarch. And so in those discussions, they were leveraging us to get something back in return. And that is one of the suggestions that they have put out, not only for us, but the other Caribbean islands who have artists taking part in the international event. So I think the statements went a little ahead of any arrangement or agreement. And when I saw it myself, we had to call, we spoke to the minister in Trinidad and then to her for those corrections to be made, because no agreement in that regard. And to speak further, our event here is a national event and not an international event as such. But one of the discussions that we have a strong tendency to happen is that one of the monarch will come as a guest artist at one of our shows during Carnival. So that is probably the only initiative that may happen, and we sort of attending towards the groovy monarch be coming to perform at one of the shows as a guest artist. So that is the initial discussions that we have around that particular issue, but not on a wider scale in terms of competition. We don't see that happening because the other countries also raise the same concern as us as well.
And just want to move a little bit to the new CEO of the SMC who will take up office on Friday. Would there be any changes in terms of the structure, or it would just be a new CEO going in and continuing the work?
Well, what I can tell you, a number of changes have already been made in terms of how the corporation operates, and there is more recommendations for improvements, not so much changes, but improvements. We believe that the new CEO, he has some fresh ideas, and we given our opportunity, a platform through SpiceMass to implement those and to improve the product as we go forward. You know, there are constraints. We have a legislation that confines how we operate. Any adjustments or improvements will be made within the confines of the SpiceMass Act. Yeah. Thank you.
Good morning. Karima Lewis, the New Today newspaper. In relation to the new CEO, will he be on secondment? Secondment? Secondment. And how long is his contract?
Thank you very much for your question. Mr. Jacob, as you know, is a teacher, and so in our discussion, he requested that we afforded him the opportunity to be seconded as a public servant to the corporation, and there is an avenue for that to happen. And so, yes, his secondment was approved as recent as yesterday. That is the reason why we could have made the announcement today. So he'll be seconded for a period of 2 years to serve at SpiceMass Corporation.
Okay, with this announcement of a new CEO 2 to 3 months before the launch of SpiceMass 2019, what impact, be it negative or positive, do you foresee for SpiceMass 2019?
Well, I always think positive. I always look towards positive, and I believe a fresh face, a fresh idea. And one of the things that I take away from my engagement with Mr. Jacob, that he has a strong passion for culture, and I was very encouraged by that. And so I'm pretty excited and believe that it's going to be a positive for us moving forward.
How much is Grenada's investment in the upcoming cricket games?
Well, I should probably term it as significant in that it's still ongoing. As we continue to prepare a number of requirements, because West Indies, they have their people, like for example, the curator flying from St. Lucia to come and look at the outfield, and if there are any areas for improvement, we would have to get maybe more chemicals, more materials. So it's an ongoing process. That is one part, the preparation from the stadium part. The second part has to do with the fees for the game. That's the second expense. And so it is quite significant. And sometimes I really don't like to be asked a question because it kind of hurts my head because of the investment that we have to make. It's quite a lot. But we believe that it's important because the impact that the games have for us economically, I can tell you, both teams are still at Radisson. Last night, someone called me trying to get a room for the games. I just remember that is an assignment I have. I have to go help them find a room for the games. I just remember. So it tells you that they're pretty booked. Reports that we're receiving, England is coming with a contingent about 3,000 people minimum. So Grenada is going to have a wonderful time. And it's within that context, we do not want to look too much on the figure, but we want to present a wonderful experience for Grenadians and visiting English patrons and the team. That is the main objective. But it's a significant investment, and we're still going. Just yesterday, had to sign off on some work at the stadium as we go ahead, because when they send their inspectors and they look, they make indications, recommendations. And the reason why we do that is critical, and I explain to you why. If we have a little write-up against us, it remains on the book. And so if there is a competition between us and another country for a particular game going forward, if you have a lot of red flags, then your chances of getting that game is minimized. I can tell you there was an experience last year, last time we had cricket, not last year, where the cutter was operating and it accidentally a line bus and some hydraulic fluid spilled on the field. And when I had the meeting with the the people from Great West Indies. That was one of the first things that they remind me, you know. So we were making the point that everything is going to be all right, and they said, look, well, the last time a line bus and oil was on the field, so that is on the record. So those are the things that we are working to minimize and alleviate, so that we have a very good record and a good showing, so that we can get more games going forward.
My final question, do we have any confirmation that the Grenada Invitational will be held this year?
No, we do not have any confirmation in that regard. I know that the Invitational team is working together with the Grenada Athletics Association, because the Grenada Athletics Association is the one who is responsible for applying to NACAC for permission to host the games. And so I know that they are discussing, and they're trying to see if they can make it happen. I know everybody's trying to see if they can make it happen. It's a difficult process. It's an important initiative for us, as Mr. Peter was talking about the importance of sports. As government, the Prime Minister have indicated publicly that once everything is all going well, government is still ready to provide whatever support to ensure that the games happen. But we are very hopeful that they can resolve all those issues, and we're waiting for some good word in that regard. I'm staying positive about it. Thank you.
Alrighty. A pleasant good morning. Akeisha Felix, the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Okay, so since we're on culture and Spice Mass, let's talk Rainbow City, right? I'm from Grenville, and I may not phrase this properly, but I'm subject to correction, right? There's an act governing the Rainbow City Festival, and that there shouldn't be any other activities around the weekend. So speak to me on that, and why it is that we're not seeing a boost in terms of improvement for the festival.
I am happy that you raised that in one way, but not so happy as to what is taking place in terms of Rainbow City. It is something that we have identified as a critical initiative that we have to address. I have in my notes that I will have to pull the resources and support of all the 4 MPs from St. Andrews to ensure that we do have a better product in terms of Rainbow City. Soon we have the intention to engage the organizing committee to see where they are, and to continue to work with them to see if we can improve that. But that is something that we have on our agenda to address going forward. Thank you.
Okay, so can we see improvements for 2019? I'm a part of the association, so we can dialogue.
Certainly.
All right.
Well, I hope that you're there when we come to engage,
I hope
and we're going to have something better. We're going to do our best. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Irina Pear from MTV. Just one clarification. I don't know if Minister Pear or Mr. Peters could clarify that. Mr. Peters mentioned annual event as it relates to netball and stuff like that. I asked the last press briefing if the inter-secondary school games would be annual. Would it?
Yeah. I want to say, as I told you about some of our plans in Ministry of Sports and in our execution of our programs, and the aim is to have this annual sports in the parish, at parish level and at the zonal level. So the intention is not, it will not be a one-off sports this year. We'll continue with that sports in other sporting activities through the community, through the parish level. So that's the start. You know, you help us to at least when we do our programs, to assess our programs through competition. So the support and the sponsors that come on board this year to sponsor the zonal meet, we're looking forward to them, and maybe still have a established secretariat at the parish, so that we could have other sport meet, and we ask other sponsors for football, cricket, and all our sporting activities.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That's a very important question, and I just want to reiterate the issue with the zonal meet. Now, the Ministry of Sports, we have been discussing this initiative since I came in, since April of last year. We have been discussing it, and coincidentally, in my budget presentation, this speaks to us rolling it out this year. So it's something that we're looking at critically, because in dialogue with the Grenada Athletics Association and the Olympic Committee, they have identified some weaknesses. And so we decided to go back into the communities at the rural level, the local level, to work with persons at the community level to identify talent and skills early, and to work with them. And so we have more resource in terms of athletics and other persons with skills in the various sporting disciplines. So that was the main focus of that initiative. Fortunately for us, that we had started that work initially, so we can now roll it out as to fill in for the games that are not being held. But this is something, a very important initiative to us in terms of our programming for sports in the ministry.
Okay, to the Minister, just to ask, I know you spoke about sponsors and you were not sure which one that you guys would start with, or if it's more and one. But would the sponsors be extended to the parish games?
Yes, we intend to have sponsorship not just for the national level, but we want to make sure at the zonal level that the teams are well supported.
And talking about sports again, we also understand that the KFC relay meet was cancelled. Any comments on that?
Well, for the KFC meet, we met with the sponsors as a part of and other stakeholders, and the sponsor decided that at that time he was able to host the meet. However, we insist the importance of KFC meet. All revenue from KFC meet went to our national character team. After games this year will be in Cayman Island. So the sponsor is looking out forward to assist in that, in making sure that our team travel. So I know discussion have been been held with the Grenada W.I Association. So I think the sponsorship will continue, but maybe to assist the national character team instead of the meet for this year.
Finally, Minister Cox, my colleagues spoke about Rainbow City. I hope that all plans will be extended not just for that, but as it relates to independence as well. It's a bit dead up there, and other cultural activities.
I'm very sorry to hear that, but I'm happy that you raised that. I know come Saturday we are planning to host our annual Independence Extravaganza at the bus terminus in St. Andrews. I do hope that that activity sparks some new enthusiasm as regards to the celebration and the expression of our patriotism as Grenadians come Saturday, and also continue to grow and culminate on Thursday the 7th. More information will come in terms of buses and support and other support for persons to attend the various activities and events. But it seems like I have to go to St. Andrews more sooner than I planned. So thanks for letting me know. So I may do that. So Minister wants to make a comment.
I may probably disappoint some people in the room if I don't say something. We seem to have a very heavy St. Andrew presence in this room. But just to say that, you know, as MPs for St. Andrew, we also have our concern, not specific to the questions that you would have raised, but in a general sense, we have to look at a collaborative effort to address the many issues confronting us in St. Andrew. And as a result of that, the 4 MPs would have come together, and we will be launching, I believe it's sometime early in February, the St. Andrews Council of Ministers. Of course, you won't find that in any legal document, but we believe that that partnership is so important to address many of the concerns, some of which I'm sure you didn't express. But one of the things we found to be extremely important is promoting people's participation in development. And that launch would also feature the formation of subcommittees to address very critical issue, the issue of Princess Alice Hospital. We have our major concerns about how this needs to be improved, but not just talking about it and speaking to the Minister of Health or speaking to the Ministry of Health. What can we do at the parish level to address the concerns we have? So you are going to be hearing from us publicly on this and the many initiatives that would come from this.
Good morning, Rachel Bain, WPG10. Mike, it's more of kind of like a clarity. So if in 2020 the issue with government and the union is resolved, will we see a continuation of the national games?
Mr. Peters would have answered that question in probably coming from another question. But just to say that the program program that Ministry of Sports would have spoken to, which is the community sports program that has been promoted over the years, that would be expanded. And of course, coming from community, so village sports, of course, you want to culminate in parish sports, parish activities, zonal activities, and of course, you must have some national culmination as well. But to answer your question even more directly, I want to say this. Our focus is on 2019 right now. We want to put all our energies there. And immediately after, we would speak about 2020 and beyond.
My question is to Minister Cox. When will we see the lighting of the Las Vegas playing field?
We are working feverishly to see how we can have that project resolved as speedily. Just yesterday, I was in a conversation with a critical stakeholder, working towards at least having some work on the ground starting in 2019, or at least completed in 2019. We are working steadfastly towards that. The lighting of Las Vegas is twinned together with the lighting of the cricket stadium. So it's going to be two areas that are going to be light. I know that Las Vegas is looking forward to that. It's a critical location. A number of activities take place there. So more information will come regarding that as we progress. But I can tell you that there are a number of moving parts. We have a number of changes. And I can probably just mention quickly, we have been working with a particular lending institution who, in the name of Scotiabank, and now Scotia has been now acquired by Republic Bank, so a number of other discussions have to take place. So those are some of the delays that we've been having, but discussions are ongoing, and we're looking forward to having those both areas lighted as soon as possible. That is high on the Ministry of Sports agenda in terms of initiatives for 2019.
My question is to Mr. Peters. You serve on the LOC of the Invitational, right? It is my understanding, you can clarify if you wish.
Yes, I'm representing the Ministry of Sports on the LOC for the Grenada Invitation.
Okay, so it is my understanding that you wrote a letter requesting a $10,000 US requesting for the position of technical director. Can you confirm or deny?
No, I haven't wrote any letter requesting any money for anything. I wish they could pay me $10,000 to do the games. You know. I've been doing the games just like I did in all games there with the interest of nation and building. The games as Grenada Invitation that bought viewed in 98 million homes around the world. Is not, we cannot perform that for 20 tourism budget. So it's excited for games to be hosted like that in our region. And just being part of it was a great opportunity. And I'm looking forward to that games continuing, because that opportunity for national building through sports, I don't think we could get it from any other sports. So to answer your question, no, I didn't write any letter. A matter of fact, if I want to write a letter asking for $10,000. So the information is not true. But just to clarify that some of the negative information that is being given on the Grenada Invitation is very unfortunate. When you look at, as I mentioned, the impact to our nation building through sports, and the artist's opportunity, that again the opportunity through the exposure and the interest as a sportsman is, you cannot be on petty favor or any childish move. So we are looking forward to seeing the positiveness, as our minister say. We're thinking positive, and we're looking forward to the future to see what's going to happen. Thank you very much.
Okay, I have a last question. You've done, Mike Sherry.
Akisha, hold on. I don't want the question to leave me. I want to go back to
So who tell you,
to Mr. Peters.
Let's not fight over the question.
Mr. Peters or Mr. Alexis. I want to go back to the games, the zonal games and the final, as to get a sense of what the start time would be and how many field and track events will there be. Will you have a scale back in activities? Because I know everything is trying to be fit within a certain period of time in the day.
Okay, well, for the events, we at the preliminary levels, at the zonal level, we haven't track events, only track events, because we're still trying to get to our track event within the specific period. So we're looking to start from 9 to 3. But that will be dependent on the level of participation, because we have in time finals. So from one, let's look at it for one maybe event, maybe let's say the under 15 boys. If you have over 10 hits, it will definitely show back the time. But when we spoke to the PE teachers and coaches yesterday, we let them know that in some instances we may have to have an additional day in the different zone, just to with the interest. But we are looking to stay within that time, and we are asking of the support. For the final on the 5th of April, we are asking the team, because we have 4 zones, we have 8 lanes, so 2 persons per zone will qualify automatically. We are asking the teams to select, through any selection method, to select 3 persons per zone for the field events for the national. It will be difficult to host the field events on the one day at a zonal level. A matter of fact, that will request about 3-4 days. So the field events will be held at the final at the National Stadium with automatical selection.
So just for clarity though, the zonal games you pick the final, so is it that we're going with colors and not particularly schools? Because I realized it said 2 per. So the zones will be different colors for the national games then?
Basically the zones, we are looking for sponsorship for the zones. Yeah, so it will depend a little later on, we'll decide what structure or what, but we are looking for sponsorship for the zones. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Senator Cox. Okay, social media is revving with the appointment of the new CEO for SpiceMass. So just for clarity's sake, as it relates to applicants and so on, and the persons who would have been involved in the panel for choosing the individual, can we get an idea as to numbers, how much people actually applied?
Okay, thank you very much. I will try my best to give as much information in that regard. And I say that because I was not involved directly in the process. SpiceMass was handling that activity. From reports that came to me, we had about 11 persons applying for the job. Even persons outside of Grenada applied for the job. I think somebody from Barbados, a young lady, applied from Barbados. We had a panel involving persons from respective sectors, also persons from DPA, from the Department of Public Administration, that panel, and they had the applications came in, and they all were unsealed in the presence of the panel, and they had the scoring. DPA was the one that designed the scoring sheet and the criteria, and a session was done with the panel before to educate them on how to apply it. And so it was, and that was one of the reasons why we took so long to make the appointment, because we were trying to ensure that the process was clear and fair as possible in that regard. Also, the panel, we still continue to engage them for other services in terms of suggestions on how we do certain things, and even with other staffing needs that we might need, they are going to be on call, so that if we have to hire anybody else part-time for the Carnival Club, they would also be part of that process in terms of looking at it. So I believe that the process itself was a very good one. I was happy with the applications. There were quite a bit. I was very impressed by Grenadians wanting to serve in that capacity, but that is what transpired. But thank you for that question.
I have one more question for Minister Pierre. You mentioned that y'all met with the PE teachers and so on. So this is more of a clarity. I want to know if the PE teachers are not a part of the walk to rule that the unions instituted.
I can't answer as to who is part of and who isn't part of. I can just speak to the mandate of the Ministry of Education, our plans, our intentions. I can only speak on behalf of Ministry of Education.
I take it that's it for the questions. Well, thank you very much, members of the media. Would persons on the panel want to make any final remarks before we wrap up this morning?
Sure, I must come back to independence. And the colors and everything is in front of us. We really want to call on the general public, and I know that the media have been doing an excellent job in supporting us in that regard. I've been listening. Everybody have different aspects of advertisement for independence. We want to ask everybody to come out to support the various activities. I know that various communities have their own events. We ask you to support them too as well, but also to give more support to our national celebration activities. So we're coming to St. Andrews on Saturday. St. Andrews have been calling for us. And just to speak to the Council of Ministers, maybe I might have to change my place of residence to get on that council in St. Andrews. But I think it's a wonderful initiative, and I congratulate MPU and the other colleagues for that initiative to better serve your constituents. And so we want to, again, just reiterate, support. Carriacou Pidimanic is having their celebration today and Carriacou tomorrow. We want to call on persons in Carriacou and Pidimanic to come down to Carriacou tomorrow to support and to ensure that we have a wonderful 45th celebration of independence. Thank you.
I would just make closing comment to say that when we officially received correspondence from the Principal Association indicating that they were not able to host Intercall this year, it was then that government made that decision that this year we are going to have a national school games, and we have indicated our intention to do so. We have formed a small committee that would spearhead the preparation for the games, and I do expect the cooperation and support from all Grenadians, and particularly the cooperation and support from our principal, teachers, and of course our students throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Pidimanic.
Mr. Alexis and Mr. Peters, any closing thoughts?
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity, and we're trying to ask all the athletes to get ready. The parents, make sure you get your children out at the field. If you are adults that they will not have any competition. So you hear now that we'll be having the national secondary school games at the 5th of April at the National Stadium. Get in touch with your zones and check the zones date if you have to make additional requests from your employer for the day off, so that you could make sure that your youngster get the opportunity to come out and compete at his own meet so that he can qualify for the final. You do so. It's all in nation building. Our objective is to make sure that our students get the opportunity to compete, and we promote our sports as true nation building. Thank you.
All right. I just want to say thanks for the opportunity again, and like Minister and Mr. Peters, we ask for the support of the public and the teachers, to come out and give us full support, because we understand the importance of this for the kids, the benefits that can derive from it, and those kids that are making a sacrifice to go back to secondary school for a second year with the intention of getting a scholarship to attend a university in the United States of America. So see the importance of this meet that we are putting on, and just give us full support. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We can definitely feel the passion and see the determination to ensure that the Grenada National Secondary School Games is a success. And we certainly hope that we will have the level of participation that we need, and also see a great level of support from the business community. And also our independence celebrations in full swing. I was quite happy to see on the weekend in some communities, persons out doing cleanup and decorating. Very commendable. So we would want to encourage that continues. And of course, that persons participate in all of the remaining independence activities. It's a significant milestone, Grenada's 45th anniversary of independence. I am Press Secretary Philomena Robertson. Thank you again for joining us for this week's post-cabinet press briefing. We'll see you again next time.
The pride and joy of a nation is its flag. Its colors and arrangement makes it significant and stunningly beautiful. On Wednesday, February 6th, it's National Colors Day. Every proud Grenadian is asked to deck off in clothing highlighting the colors of our flag. Whether you are dressed for work, daily routines, or casual engagements, showcase the true Grenadian spirit. Every ministry, every department, and all workplaces are encouraged to join in. National Colors Day, Wednesday, February 6, 2019. Endorsed by the National Celebrations Committee. Our people, our colors, our day. On Wednesday, February 6th, National Colors Day. The pride and joy of a nation is its flag. Its colors and arrangement makes it significant and stunningly beautiful. On Wednesday, February 6th, it's National Colors Day. Every proud Grenadian is asked to deck off in clothing highlighting the colors of our flag. Whether you are dressed for work, daily routines, or casual engagements, showcase the true Grenadian spirit. Every ministry, every department, and all workplaces are encouraged to join in. National Colors Day, Wednesday, February 6th, 2019. Endorsed by the National Celebrations Committee. Our people, our colors, our day. On Wednesday, February 6th, National Colors Day.
On the stroke of midnight, it's February 7th. It's our nation's birthday. It's time for the biggest celebration in our nation's history as we celebrate the 45th anniversary of our independence. Folks from all walks of life from all over Grenada will head on down to the James Athletic Stadium from 12 p.m. It's the Made in Grenada Expo, a showcase of locally produced goods and services offered on display. As you enter the Independence Village, experience steel band music, big drum dancers from Carriacou, Tambu Bamboo, Shortney, Jab Malasi, poetry, singing, live music, Solid the Band, everything Grenadian. At 3:30 p.m., military parade onto the James Athletic Stadium, followed by the Independence Rally, cultural pieces, Prime Minister's address, one fun-filled afternoon, and not to be missed. Organize your rides, your buses, your motorcade, and head on down to the James Athletic Stadium, Thursday, February 7th, celebrating under the theme, building resilience and enhancing social and economic transformation.
Agriculture, the backbone of the economy. Yet why so much wastelands all over the damn country? Underutilized, wasting good food production.
Yes, indeed. Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, Pidi Martinique, and you are listening to Hard Talk. Yeah, we just completed the post-cabinet press briefing. Ministers up to bat today. The Honorable Emlyn Pear, Minister of Education, and the Senator, the Honorable Norland Cox, Minister of Sport and Culture. Yeah, so they were up to bat this morning. Devon, major things out of the press conference this morning?
Well, one of the announcements that was made by the Minister of Culture in particular is the naming of the new the new CEO of Spice Mart Corporation, okay, Mr. Kelvin Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
And so among all the persons who applied, I think it was around 11 of them, he stated, he was the one came out at the top. So we now have a new CEO of Spice Mart Corporation, and
who will be starting his duties on Friday.
On Friday, yes.
Yeah, the 1st of February. So Mr. Kelvin Jacob, he is the new CEO of the Spice Mart Corporation, and he will be commencing duties at the Spice Mart office as of Friday, and not a day too soon, because we had to get things cracking and so on. You know, we have our artists are featuring in regional carnivals and so. Yeah. And we need to ensure that when it comes to our display for Spice Mart, that we don't want the same level that we have been on. That would be a failure. We want to go above it.
Yep, always strive to go above.
Mm-hmm. So we want to see we go above. Because as it is right now, when you look at the International Soca Monarch in Trinidad, the Power Monarch, Grenada has 3 artists into the semi-final round. We have Mr. Killer. We have the Wasways, Lil Natty and Thunder. And we have Mr. Legs. They're into the semi-finals, not the finals yet. They're into the semi-finals, which should be coming up. I'm not sure if it's this weekend or next weekend or when it's coming up. But we also have 2 artists into the groovy. We have When I Dead, Put Jab Jab on My Tombstone, Mr. Mandela Links. And we also have Lil Vaughn. Both of them are into the semi-final of the Groovy Monarch.
Let me ask that. Dash didn't make any attempt to partake.
It didn't seem so.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem so. If he did, he would have gotten through.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, knowing Dash would have made it, but he probably did not try to get in. That is what happens, because last year one of the biggest tunes in Trinidad would have been Top Striker.
Yeah.
And Lil Natty and Thunder, not understanding fully the criteria to enter into the International Soca Monarch last year, they had a little mix-up, and that's how they were not able to get into last year. They thought that they would have had an automatic buy, but they didn't get that. So it's interesting though, because Trinidad had gone to the format of not having a Groovy Monarch, but having the Groovy artists together with the Soca artists in one show. And now they've decided that they need to go back to their original formula. And part of the reason for that is that on coming to Grenada and seeing the popularity of the Groovy Monarch and the Soca Monarch, yes, one night, Fantastic Friday, but 2 shows. It's not one show. You get 2 for the price of 1. The Groovy Monarch in Grenada has started to generate just as much interest as the Power Monarch.
And moving and it's rising too. The hype, man, is good.
Because as one of the people who used to be there sometime from 5 o'clock in the stadium, yes, I actually used to be there, asking Nazim Benjamin, because he used to make me out to be there for 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Soca Monarch evening, preparing to do those days, doing photos with Nazim and videos and so. And knowing that usually back in the days, the Groovy Monarch, people came towards the end of the Groovy Monarch because they really came for the Soca Monarch. So you had some people in the stadium, Nazal, I know I'm talking the truth. Yeah, you saw some people in the stadium, they come for the Groovy Monarch, might be relatives of individuals or so, or they come and they just decide, if I'm spending that money, I want all my show, I want to miss piece side.
And I agree with that.
So they came early, but it was not a massive crowd early up in the stadium. Now, you realize from, the stadium full.
Yeah,
the stadium full. By the time you hear position number 1 in the Groovy Monarch, you realize the stadium full already. Exactly. Yes, because the Groovy Monarch has taken up to that level. So Trinidad now, looking at what has been taking place in Grenada, decided that they're going to go back to that model now for their Power Monarch and Soca Monarch. Because Voice, the guy who won for the last 2 years or so, really and truly is a groovy artist. He's not a Power Soca artist. He's a groovy artist. So they're looking at that now, and they decided to come with all thing. Sonia, good morning to you, my dear. We hope that you've been able to shovel out your way and get out, yeah?
She's under 30. I was about to say, Naz, Sonia has arrived. Can we just give her, bless her with some beautiful...
Yeah, and the thing is, we feel extremely sorry for those of you out there in the U.S., especially those of you who are experiencing temperatures of negative 48. It's actually colder in parts of the Midwestern United States than it is in Antarctica right now, yeah. And if that's the situation in the Midwestern United States, I could imagine for people who are in the Northern United States and those sort of areas to be minus 48 degrees. But, okay, while in your area it's minus 17. Well, you see, you let us talk minus, we just talk plus here.
We only plus alone we deal with.
Yeah.
We need subtracting.
We use AC to get our temperature down to 18 degrees. Are you looking at minus 17 and all kind of thing? No? Good luck, bro. And just a picture for you. That's Carriacou. So
beautiful.
As usual.
Sister Isle.
Yeah, the beautiful of Carriacou. Feel free to jump a plane and come home at any time.
Or feel free to jump in right there. I mean.
Or you can send your address to me. I'll inform ICE. Yeah, and they would know where to come and pick you guys up.
Exactly.
Right? So if you're not there legally, inform us and we could inform ICE and they can come get you out. Also from Post Cabinet this morning, just to let you all know, also from Post Cabinet this morning, the official announcement of the games, the official announcement of the Grenada Secondary School Games by the Honorable Minister Emlyn Pear. So the games will be taking place at the Grenada National Stadium on the 5th of April. April 5th, 2019 will be an historic day. It will be the first day, the first ever Grenada Secondary School Sports. Not the Intercol Games, Grenada Secondary School Sports. Mr. Technical Man, you could fix us back there. The Grenada Secondary School Sports, that will be taking place on the 5th of April. We have the various parish games that will be taking place. And the 6th of March, I believe, would be the Southern Games. The 15th of March, the Western Games. And the 22nd, there would be the East and the Northern would be joined. So Carriacou, I'm not sure if Carriacou is going to be coming down or if Carriacou will be enjoining the Eastern Division. So Eastern and North are going to join for one combined games. So I expect that might be St. David, St. Andrew, and the St. Patrick. St. Patrick. I expect that would be the eastern side and northern side and Carriacou. So the Western Games would basically be St. Mark and St. John. But we'll get the specifics because you could also say the Western Games are St. Mark, St. John, and St. Patrick West. You could do it like that and say, well, St. Patrick East will join, but St. Patrick is also in the north. So we'll see how that is worked out. So yes, folks, and that will be it. The April 5th, that will be the games. So remember, get ready. Get your, what does call it, the whatever they call it, the horn and all them kind of thing, and your conch shell, check your fellas and them who are the lamby shell and think they are lamby shell and all kind of thing ready. So we head into the National Stadium on the 5th of April for the Grenada Secondary School Sports. So new CEO to Spice Mass, the official date of the Grenada Secondary School Sports has been announced, April 5th, with zonal sports coming up on the 6th, 15th, and 22nd. I'm hoping I have the correct dates here, 6th, 15th, and 22nd. So we look forward to that. The phone lines are open, 440-7377
and 347-329-3101. Sheldon, also to the Minister of Sports also made mention in terms of the preparation going ahead to host the England West Indies 2 one-day internationals. And said that the preparation is on schedule and so on. We expect to have 2 bumper games. We also expect to have in excess of over 2,000 visitors, especially English visitors, coming to our shows around that day. That's good, for us.
So that's February the 25th and 27th at the Grenada National Stadium. So folks, get out there and buy your tickets because you know what has happened. Buy your tickets. Things that sell out sometime in Grenada, so buy your tickets. And outside of that, though, I have been over to the stadium itself. I realize a lot of work is taking place on the field. You must understand as well that what we are is in a very, very tenuous situation when it comes to cricket and cricket here in Grenada. In that, the minister did mention, remember he mentioned that there was this piece of equipment they were using on the field. There was a rupture in the hose and oil spilled onto the field, and that came up as an issue. Now that's an issue inside there, but there are also other issues that can come up. The way that we interact with the English team when they're here. The way that we interact with them. If you want to tell them, all the Englishmen, all the others in slavery for much years, go back in all your place, come out, move, come out. And that kind of thing. That's not friendly and that's not the way that we deal. But just saying that the way that we interact with the team, the way that we interact with the reporters that will be here, and we will have significant numbers of reporters. If you do an online search for Grenada and when it's trending online, in other words, when you're going to find more searches on Grenada popping up online, you usually find those at times when there are activities here. And you have the travel writers that are passing through Grenada, and they are doing those stories on Grenada. So that happens from time to time, and then you see more articles going out. Now, even though they may be here to cover cricket, they don't just cover cricket, they cover other things that are happening at that point in time. So don't be surprised to see that the strategy team, that meeting, decide that they want to disrupt things around that time, that they want to give Grenada ugly view, an ugly face at that point in time. Yeah, they might use that point in time to, when we are on the international stage, to try and embarrass the Grenadian government, not understanding that what they're doing is going to be embarrassing the Grenadian people on a whole. So we'll look out for that. We know what's going on, so we're looking out for that too.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Hey, what are you doing,
Sheldon.
sir?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Always good.
Listen, I want to get out of trouble. You would help me get out?
I can't promise anybody to get them out of
Okay,
trouble.
but listen, yeah. They say if you play carnival with a serpent in Grenada, you get messed up with the law. Listen to me careful. If like we I go up somewhere in the Middle East where they are the war up there, and I find a serpent and I come down in Carriacou, and I play with the serpent out of the street, I catch the serpent, you could get tied up with the law?
Yes, you would be tied up with the law, one, for being idiotic enough to take a serpent from outside of Grenada and bring it into our territory. As happened once, and remember to find a big anaconda? Yeah, that was an idiotic thing for that individual to do, to bring that into the country. And the secondly, that it doesn't matter where this serpent comes from. It is illegal to play juve with animals. It doesn't matter where they could fall from the sky. They could swim up on the sea. But once you have them, you can be charged. Whether it's in Petit Martinique, it's on Isle Run, once it's within the state of Grenada or territorial limits, you cannot play because the laws cover our territorial limits.
Yeah,
you cannot play.
It's not.
And why would somebody want to take an animal from outside of Grenada and bring it? We're bringing them things, invasive species and all kind of thing. We are no poisonous snakes here. None.
Not that I know.
You see a serpent? Most of serpent might get a 2 bite or some kind of thing. If you corner it.
Didn't have doing that.
No, but you have to real corner it for it to give you a 2 bite or some kind of thing, and it's not poisonous.
Them serpent and snake trying to run from you.
Yeah. We have no poisonous snakes on the island. Let me leave it like that. Yeah, why we want to take something from outside and bring it here? Nah, you got to be crazy. Yeah.
Deepo, he likes serpents, man.
I can understand that one. Curtis, whoever telling that, tell them they're crazy.
Yeah. Curtis,
tell them they're mad.
Curtis, don't worry, leave that thing, the serpent and thing alone. Eh?
Curtis, tell them they're mad. And I hope it's not somebody that bring the thing from overseas and have it here. And wonder if they have that, let me know, let me go and send the police for them. Because we don't have no, next thing you end up with some kind of deadly snake multiplying in Grenada that we didn't have. And you end up with a problem now. Now we don't have them thing here, let me leave it so. You don't want it here.
You know, another practice I see our people continuously keep doing is the releasing of stray dogs in the Granitang area.
Why you do a thing like that too?
You understand? It's not, I mean, it's something that has been there for a while, but it has minimized. But now I see it begin, people start doing it on a more regular basis. You find 3 and 4 dogs moving around, the Granitang area. That is not a good thing to do. It is not. All right? Let us find some other way or so to deal with those animals. God forbid something, people always up in the Granitang going through the forest and so for recreational purposes, hiking and so. We don't want anything to happen to us because of our negligence, like releasing, a dog that you don't want. Just let it go in the Granitang just so you don't know what can happen. So please, I'm appealing to persons to cease that practice.
Some time ago, a caller had mentioned something about some invasive species of fish in the River Road area. So I realized that our fish is back. You're seeing our fish in majority. You're seeing 1 or 2 of the one they were talking about in between, but you're seeing the majority. I was just kind of take back the place.
Yeah,
of
course.
Take back the place.
One back we place. What happened to all? They just come and invade the thing just so. We just do it. So these are things that we must be mindful of. And so again, Sheldon, we into the the dry season, very early dry season, and we must continue warning and encouraging persons to do the right thing around this time, right? In terms of your water supply, ensure that you have water, storage for water. If you don't have the big tanks above, like on the top, on the side of your house, and so, look for containers and store as much water in clean, purified containers so it can last for a while. And we don't want to get caught, right, in that dry season unprepared, right? Pay attention to the radio, listen to NAWASA, listen to the Met Office, listen to the instructions that they will pass, and so on. You know, we will do much better because it's looking to be, I mean, a terrible dry season based on how it's shaping up. You know, so we must be mindful of that. And also with that dry season comes some diseases that, you know, we might not, you know, usually for a while may not have in our country. For example, things like typhoid and even the dengue and all these things. We have to be mindful of how we treat our surroundings, our environment, right? And so the intake of our water in particular, right? We must be mindful of that as a people, right? Be very conscious of that.
One of the main things that comes along with an extreme dry season are a lot of bushfires.
Yeah.
And as such, need to remind individuals that you can and you will, I know that permission of police we have, you will be charged for lighting fires without permission.
Most definitely.
Is your land. You clear it. You're going and do your agriculture, but you can't light fire on it. If you do light a fire on it, you can find yourself on the end of a fine and or prison time. Yeah. Especially if it causes damage to other people, it burned down how much people's house and all. You're then responsible for that. Yeah? You're also responsible if the fire truck had to leave and come spend a certain time dealing with this bushfire, and next thing somebody's house burned down and somebody dies. So you have to be careful. Now, if you do want to light an agricultural fire, you're clearing your land, you want to dispose of the waste matter, and so you want to burn, you have to go to the nearest police station and fill out a form, obtain permission from the nearest police station to do so. You can't just do it on your own. You must go, that's the law. You must go to the nearest police station and get permission to light that fire. You cannot just do it on your own, or you can be charged after. In fact, one individual has already been charged for the year.
Two.
Right? Well, two. Okay. Yeah, two. I know of one that has been charged. Yeah. So Devon is saying two that have been charged so far for the year for lighting of fires.
I think
cannot light fires like that.
I think also part of the procedures too, the Ministry of Agriculture plays a part in ensuring that you burn in certain areas and everything. So both the police and the Ministry of Agriculture, you know, has that role in ensuring that we do the right thing when it comes to bushfires, agricultural fires and that sort of thing. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Right?
So know the law, know your responsibilities.
Yes. Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Cannot light a fire just like that. And also false reporting of fires.
Yeah.
We have an incident that happened a few years ago that cost you, the Grenadian taxpayer, over $1 million.
Entire
because
fire truck.
We lost a fire truck and there were officers injured. In fact, up to this day, I'm not sure one of the officers who were injured is back on the job. Yeah, and that was a couple of years ago. Well, because some kunumunu decided to phone and say there was a fire in the Hope area, had the fire truck speeding going down there, and it overturned. Yeah. That was the end of that fire truck. That's $1 million investment that gone.
And that was a well-equipped
fire truck, because it was the St. Andrew fire truck. That was the fire truck for the St. Andrew area. St. Andrews and working St. Patrick, even low down St. David, according to what it is.
I know it's become a little bit more difficult now for them to maneuver.
The fire truck park up now in SSU.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on, we have to be sensible. That's not a funny something. That's not something to make jokes about. And you tend to find that you have an increase in that sort of behavior around this time.
Yeah.
When you have the dry season and you have the fires. And so some people find it funny to go and call the fire truck and say it have fire here, it have fire there, it have fire there. And that sort of nonsense. So folks, please, because I for one wish to send you on Richmond Hill for a long period of time. I ain't mind my tax money pay for you to stay up there for that period of time. But that'll make you walk land and all kind of thing there at the same time, eh? That'll make you walk land and thing while you're up there.
Sheldon, I have a concern, eh? I want to relate to, well, part of the environment and our roads and so. I've seen that some road work has been going on over the Granite Tank, like the fixing of the roads, the holes and everything like that. Very nice. The workmen, they are thumbs up for all of them. Also the wardens and so that doing the overhanging and basically going in at least 5-10 feet into, the forest and clear. So you have a better, visual thing when you're driving and so, right? But I really want to appeal to Ministry of Forestry and Works and so, because I know they had a program over the Granite Tank where they were cutting, right, together with NAGMA, cutting some of the overhanging. I really would like them to continue something like that. I'll tell you why. If you look on the end coming up from Black Forest, right, Van Dam coming over to come to Grenville and so, one of the major problems with our roads and cause the destruction of our roads is the water. And the water that comes from the trees that is over the road, right? It is for years that has continuously happening in specific areas, right? And we continue to fix and the problems still remain. I would really like to see the Ministry of Works together with Forestry and whoever else, is involved to do something about some of the overhanging in most, and it's areas that you see wanting road repairs every time, specific areas. When you look over, there's a number of huge trees hanging over the road that needs to get, you have to get rid of them or trim them so our roads, right, can last much longer. Because the constant falling of water in one area after a couple of days, weeks, you see the deterioration, right? And I know the experts know, what, that causes. So please be mindful of that, and let's hope that something can be done to save, especially the road over the Granite Tank. And so,
440-7377. We have roughly half an hour remaining.
347-329-3101.
Yes, indeed. So again, folks, in case you're just joining us, the new CEO of SpiceMass is Mr.
Kelvin Jacob.
All right. He is presently the Vice Principal at the Presentation Brothers College. He also has a degree in Carnival Studies from the University of Trinidad and Tobago. And I believe he has a bachelor's in something or the other as well, along with that.
Communication, something like that.
So he is more than academically qualified, has been involved, is presently a member of the Cultural Foundation Board of Directors, has been involved in Carnival for a number of years here in Grenada. So it is no slouch that we're dealing with when it comes to the issue of Carnival
He's a culture
and SpiceMass. All right?
Definitely a culture man.
We are waiting to see him do thing. Nice, we want to see him do thing. Also, remember, the Grenada Secondary School Games is on the way. April 5th, mark that date down. Those of you outside of Grenada that want to be here, especially when you're looking at temperatures minus. Yeah, the amount of minus all you see in there, like all you get nothing correct in that test. Yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing you all here in Grenada. Yeah, and maybe even government could look at widening the secondary school games to invite some
regional.
Yeah, just a little Vinci school, little Bajan school,
a Trini school.
Yeah, or look at the Jamaican school to invite them.
School,
yeah.
Get them,
invite them
to come in and do something.
Yeah, we could invite them as well, Yeah, we have place to put them. Don't worry,
we
have place to put them.
We have enough place to put them.
We have place to put them. All right, could look at that
high
as
end,
a possibility.
From high end to low end.
Yeah,
we got it.
We have a call online.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to my two beautiful brothers inside the brother Sheldon and brother Devon.
Good morning, Ms. Jacob.
Morning.
What? Are you talking about serpent? If somebody tell you you lazy as a serpent, believe it. Because serpent is the most laziest beast on the face of the earth. I could tell you why. Me and my neighbor, three of us, we go and pull vine. And by those vine and them looking so nice, we meet a lady coming up the road, and she said, Ali, where are you going? And are you going so nice? And are you chatting so much big vine? Are you have to, you see that vine on the side down there? Do please, don't touch it, eh? But the lady didn't tell us why we didn't touch it. But I say, she must want it for herself. She must want it for herself. And she telling us, don't touch it. All of us, we pull down the vine. We tie it up, we shake it properly that it could take the tie and for it to stay on we head. And it's not easy, not just the we go a long way to reach home, you know. Papa, when we reach home, Brother Levi, and the next side of the road, and next side of the river, I alone that come in my house, but he had the two sisters go in another house. Papa, Brother Levi get up the morning. He scream out. He say, oh God, Elikan Angie, please tell Oma don't interfere with that vine, please. Tell her, please. And I could ask in Tanti Elka, well, what is that? Tanti Elka asking her why she mustn't interfere with it. Why? I don't telling her you nothing. Don't interfere with it. Papa, you is speeding coming the hill. When he reach up the hill, he say, give me something. And lay cut the rope. When he cut the rope, two serpents in the vine. So 3 of us bring home 2 serpents, a black and white and a brown. All this kind of thing, we come up with it, we pitch it down on we head. We don't let it go easy. We pitch it down on the head and the serpent in the vine. If they tell you you're lazy as a serpent, they drown with you, you're dead.
All right. Okay, Ms. Jacob, you enjoy your day today.
Don't tell people serpent. And that I think last week I killed a serpent and my breadfruit tree. But the black and white, we kill the brown one, but the black and white, they just travel in twos.
Okay.
Twos they travel in.
All right, Ms. Jacob, thanks for educating us into the various intricacies of serpents.
And I want to tell Mr. Curtis, be careful.
All right.
Serpent doing him nothing.
No problem.
Okay, darling.
All right.
Love you all.
All right.
Bye-bye. Right.
Yeah, leave them serpent alone. The serpent is part of the ecosystem. You only remove something from the ecosystem, you end up with things that you don't want. Eh? So we have another caller online.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning to you, sir.
You're live.
Yeah, is it HARDTALK?
Yes, it is.
I am you low.
No, yes, it is, caller. You're live. Go right ahead.
Yeah. What I saw a few buildings there in Grenada, like government buildings. For instance, the stadium, the cricket, the hospital. These buildings need maintenance. For instance, painting. What are the government doing to maintain such a building? Are there no plans in place?
Mm-hmm. All right, no problem. We'll respond.
But I think that they should work on to maintain the buildings more. Another point I want to make, last point I want to make, it's a trend. I see that planning should be involved in that. I saw a lot of buildings they are building now, they are grading, destroying hills, like hilltop, they're grading it and then you live in precipice just to put a building. For instance, in Mount Hartman, when you're on Morris Bishop Highway, you look over Mount Hartman there, you see that. In going in True Blue, they do a building there like that too, where they grade. And this not looking good in the country. What are planning doing? What is physical planning doing for such a structures? You're destroying the land surface or land mass just to build buildings and planning not doing anything for that. I think we need to wake up and see what is going on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
On the first one, in relation to the upgrade of buildings and so, there is already an agreement for the refurbishment of the athletic stadium. The government is within negotiations with the Chinese government, I believe, for refurbishment of the cricket stadium. Yeah? Now, you would understand that the cricket stadium, due to the metal and so on, it has to be painted and it has to be upgraded. Every so often you have to do some work on it. That has been done every few years. They do some work on it. So during the period in between, you don't expect it to be 100%. You expect to see some paint flaking somewhere, or you have to do some work. I know there was some issues recently with the elevators, and so that is being sorted out. And one or two other things. Broken seats. Seats break. People use the facility. Once you use the facility, could be the best facility that exists, there will be breakage. Air Force One, the most expensive plane on planet Earth, they have to do refurbishment from time to time. They have to fix things in it from time to time. It's not always 100%.
Maintenance issue always comes up.
So yes, there has to be maintenance and painting and that sort of thing. But also, if you are the National Stadium or the government of Grenada, where do you put your priority? On the repainting or ensuring the safety and security of the individuals using the facility? So with the little bit of money that you have, or the little bit of money that you make, you have to understand where your priority goes. Do you look at the hospital facility and decide that the important thing is to take $250,000 and repaint the hospital facility, or do you say we're going to take that $250,000 and buy medicine, and then within the next 4 years, 5-year period or whenever, we are going to paint over the facility, or we're going to do some refurbishment on different aspects of the facility? If you're looking at just the aesthetics, just the painting and that sort of thing, there are plans in place for that, and it is done every now and again. It is done. You do have that taking place every now and again with various facilities. I know that there was also a strategy in place for the ministerial complex to upgrade different aspects of the ministerial complex. Also, since you have the ministerial complex being covered in so much glass and that sort of thing, there was also the idea of using solar energy to generate a significant portion of the electricity needs of the ministerial complex.
Excellent
There's
idea.
also a plan in place to do that on other government facilities to reduce the amount of money that government is spending on a yearly basis when it comes to electricity. And also, not just the money aspect of it, but the environmental aspect of it, because you're still generating electricity in Grenada using diesel engines down there in Queen's Park. You have the solar plant being set up there now that provides a certain percentage, and in the south of the island and one or two other areas. But it's still mainly diesel generators producing electricity. That means you have to get the diesel coming up and burn it off, and so
90%
pollute the atmosphere and all of that. So when it comes to the upgrade of the facilities, as a government, you have to look at the priority. What is the priority? The priority is the health care of the individual entering the facility. So your priority in spending the money is on training. That's why some of the junior doctors are being sent to retrain and specialize in specific areas, be it neurosurgery or cardiology, or be it in the area of vascular surgery or whatever it is. You're sending to retrain. You could say, we're not sending them to retrain, let us paint the place. Where do you put your money?
Priority.
You could say, we go in and repaint the place, and the place look nice, it look pretty. We could come and show off and say, look, we have a pretty hospital, and then somebody in a hospital bed can't get medication, or they have to wash an IV tube or a catheter or whatever to reuse on the person. Or the nurse is going to see after somebody and doesn't have proper protective gear, as in they don't have a respirator, they don't have gloves and that sort of thing, or they don't even have hand sanitizer. Where do you put your priority when it comes to your spending? On the look of a place or the operations of the place? That is how, you see, it's easy to say, oh, the place look run down. What about the quality of the service inside? Are you improving the quality of the service that's being offered on the inside?
And definitely the quality has been improving. For example, you have seen the new fleet of ambulances within the health services, and so
we've got
priority.
more ambulances within the last 12 months than you've ever gotten in any period.
Well, that's the most ambulance you have ever in Grenada, ever.
And so they walk in.
And they walk in.
Surprised we hear one pass here as soon as we see that.
They really walk in.
They really walk. Olio, ease up now. Olio, get them thing around for the money, boy.
They get in.
Just call 434 if you need the ambulance. Huh? That's the number.
And one of the things too, the recent one that I've get, if you notice, it has been like the regular minibuses that we have. So in terms of maintenance and sourcing of parts,
the body and the engine is that, but the internal is a lot of things.
Yeah, they're different. But in terms of the maintenance for the engine, and it becomes much easier, you know, to maintain and everything like that. So way to go.
And for instance, if you're looking at the cricket stadium right now, and you're speaking maintenance, now when the team comes here, they're more focused on the quality of the pitch.
The feel, yes.
That's why the pitch and the feel is what has been worked on since last year. They put down the chemicals to get rid of the little molds or whatever it does have. They make sure they do that, and then they give it enough time so that could phase out. We're into a protracted dry season, an extreme dry season that has started, right? We're having a little bit of drizzle in the night here and there, a little bit of rain. But if you look outside, it's
cold in the street.
It's cold in the night because it had no cloud cover, all the heat escaping, so it's cold.
And you know one of the good things
about it? It's like the desert.
It.
People think the desert hot in the night. The desert is freezing cold because there's no cover, so all the heat go and all the moisture evaporates.
One of the interesting things too about our cricket field and so it's located close to a major river. So in terms of water and the maintenance of the outfield itself, right? It's much easier, right, to maintain when it comes to water and that sort of thing, because they have a big, massive pump that pumps and provide water to sprinkle the outfield every so often and so. So
every now and again you have to do your upgrades to your facilities, and so you must do your upgrades to your facilities, maintenance of the facilities, and so that is done along with the Chinese usually lend assistance. They know that you have an activity coming up. They provide a technical team and they provide individuals to help. So whether it's that to sort out the elevator, whether it's to make sure that all the bathroom facilities are operating properly, whether it is swapping out the seats
or the scoreboard.
Yeah. In this instance, you still with there is a contingency being put in place for the scoreboard, because it is the scoreboard that is there right now. It suffered a catastrophic failure many years ago.
A lot of years ago.
And so it has to be replaced. But you know, the scoreboard is one of the most expensive parts of the stadium itself.
Of course.
So it's not a cheap thing. And again, do you say, okay, we're gonna spend close to $1 million maybe on a high-tech scoreboard, or 500,000 on a scoreboard US on a scoreboard, or do we place that money into the actual development of the cricketers? Do you place that money into the actual development of the athletes? Do you place that money into helping promote the facility so that you could get more visitors and generate that money through people coming and use the facility so that then you can purchase it outright? Exactly. How do you manage your money? So yes, the aesthetics is one thing, but the actual utility of the facility and understanding that it's a small pie that you have to share, and you have to really think about how you share that pie. Paint is paint, but can the facility be used? Yes. Can it be used safely? Yes. Right? The field at the stadium, is it up to scratch? Yes. X-ray unit at the hospital, is it operating? Yes.
It's like managing your home. Outside of your home may need a facelift, painting, whatever. But is that the priority for your home?
I'm surprised. You see so outside some people always looking, when you walk inside like a palace.
Of course. You ensure that you have a good refrigerator, good stove, interior. Everything is perfect for you to do your duties within your home. Not so much how the outside of your home look like. No, that does not affect the operations, so to speak, of what goes on inside.
Yeah, 15 minutes remaining on today's program, 440-7377.
And 347-329-3101.
Yeah, let me say a good morning to my brother Hinkson. I hope he's having a wonderful morning this morning.
And Sheldon, as we on the maintenance issue, and so that's one of the problems that all governments face in terms of the maintenance, continuous maintenance of some of the equipments and the buildings and so that they use for day-to-day operations, and so priority has to be put and so to make sure that these things are done properly and so. Right? Independence celebration, man.
Yeah, independence celebrations move to St. Andrew this weekend. So big parishes are going to be having all the activities this weekend. We have a
good morning, Sheldon. Good morning, Devon. How are everything?
Yes, my friend. Good morning.
Brother Devon, Sheldon, as we are about to celebrate our 45th anniversary of independent anniversary, something that I want to see that we grow deeper in. Let the manifestation of that love for one another, let it go deeper within our heart for others. The manifestation of caring, let us care more for others. The manifestation of the peace, let it grow in our heart for others. And the manifestation of the forgiveness, Brother Sheldon Devon, let it grow deeper in our heart for one another. Because see, when we learn to forgive, when we learn to care, and when we learn to love one another, our country will be a better place. I want to see growth in love in our heart. I want to see more people come to know that Christ and understand that Christ is the answer for the world today. All right? Because one of the things I do believe, as the Word of God said, as Christian person, we have to go out and make disciples. Let us make disciples with one another. And that disciples come when we love and care. Because I know sometimes our home, we family may be saved, but our neighbors, they didn't know Christ. And we know we can't be satisfied that we family saved and that neighbor to save. But I want us to let us get rid of that attitude. And let us have attitude that we go out and make souls, win souls for the kingdom of God. Because if we say we care and we love others, what is good for we like to see that what is good for them. So Brother Devon and Sheldon, you all have a wonderful day. God bless you all. Have a good day.
All right, my friend.
Thank you.
A wonderful day.
4407377. I think I heard a beep on the line. Oh, they'll call. Yeah, 4407377. Devon also, the police have been kind of active, man. I see someone get charged $2,500 for removing clamp. Attempting or removing the clamp.
Yeah, removing the clamp.
In fact, I think that's the individual who take out the tire.
Who take out the tire?
Put the clamp. And throw it in the vehicle and then roll.
Oh, he's lucky. He's a lucky guy.
2,500 is, or in default, I think 14 days inside.
In prison. Yeah, he's definitely a lucky guy. That is a blatant breach of the law. I mean, that's a no-no. And I will never encourage other persons to do that.
Off our time.
No, I mean, that's, he's lucky he didn't even go to jail for that.
I have a partner that cut off one at a time.
Yeah. That's destruction of public property.
Yeah, it is.
You understand? We cannot tolerate things like that. If you set a precedent where persons could do these things, that is not good.
We've also had another individual charged $500 for driving without the proper safety equipment. I think they were riding a motorcycle without helmet. And so
way to go.
500.
Way to go,
all
officers.
the proper safety equipment.
Yes. It's about time. We need to do things to ensure that the security of our citizens are maintained. Very important.
Devon, in the last few minutes, I want us to discuss something that is, and we'll talk with things in between, but sometimes we have to raise one or two other issues. I think it is important for us to note the level of accidents that we've been having and some of the contributing factors. One of the major contributing factors that I've been seeing, I personally have seen it. Devon, you're a driver. Zim, you're a driver too. One of the major contributing factors, you see this thing called phone and using your mobile device?
Boy.
I have a Bluetooth device, so I tend to use my Bluetooth device. While I'm driving, somebody call, I use my Bluetooth device. Or you need to make a call, you pull to the side, and you make your call, and whether you're using your Bluetooth and you're driving, that's a different thing. But you have people actually trying to respond to WhatsApp messages and using their phone while they're driving, and sometimes you're behind an individual that's swerving left and right, doing all sorts of craziness, only to realize. And every time I'm traveling with Naz, when I'm driving with Naz, he said, that one on the phone.
Yeah.
And when people realize you see the person leaning, and they're driving, and they're leaning, or they're leaning,
dangerous.
And they're driving, and not paying full attention to what's going on the road, ending up on somebody else's vehicle, or even worse, on somebody.
Yeah.
So, please, you all need to stop this thing with the using of the mobile phones.
And on that case, I want to appeal, especially, well, for everybody, but especially our bus drivers, please cease from doing that. You are traveling with persons, 15, 16, sometimes 18 persons in your bus, and your phone ring, and you will bend over or bend down and pick up the phone and answer it, and you are, come on. It's responsibility. You have the lives of other people in your hands. We need to do better than that. Pull over on the side. Passengers, give me a minute, let me just take that call. If it's not important, you let the phone ring, whatever. But you don't. You do not continue endangering the lives of so many persons just because you want to answer a phone. All right? Please. Anytime police stop and charge, especially a bus driver, I am so glad.
But the bus drivers complaining about it too, Devon. The bus drivers are complaining about it too because remember, they use the road more than anybody else.
More than anybody else, yeah.
Especially, you see, Grenada and Spong, the road drivers and so on. Yes, one or two of them might be guilty of doing it too, but they encounter it on every single trip. Somebody that just veers onto your side of the road because they're on a phone call. Day as well as night. They just forget totally which side of the road they're driving on. Or they're trying, imagine saw them on the phone and they're trying to overtake while they're on the phone.
And sometimes the conversation they carrying out, it becomes so agitated, right, that eventually becomes road rage for them.
And they're using one hand and they're trying to drive and they're using the phone. And there's a law in place for it, isn't it?
There is.
Officers, even if I had to get a ticket too, do what you have to do. Yeah? Bluetooth selling all over the place. You're getting it for $80, you're getting it for $100. Right, you can get somebody to send one for you. And that kind of thing. It's reasonable. Get a Bluetooth, get comfortable with using it, and use your Bluetooth device. Your WhatsApp messages could wait until when you stop.
Of course.
Or when you reach where you're going. No way Grenada is more than an hour from anywhere else. You ain't driving for no 2 hours before you reach anywhere in Grenada.
Never happened.
Yeah, unless you're taking the boat from Grenada to Carriacou. That's the only time you're taking at 2 hours. And if you take the plane, you're reaching in 20 minutes.
And just now we got cut that. Another thing again concerning on the roads, the level of road rage I've been seeing with different drivers. And you see, it's something that we must be mindful of, because as much as somebody in front of you and give you a bad drive or so, and the way you react, but by you reacting, you can endanger the lives of others, because other things happen when you're trying to react. You see, some drivers again will stop in the road, 2 drivers, and carry out a conversation, and there's vehicles behind, and they pay no mind.
Care to anybody else.
They pay no mind, and then you turn around and cuss you and say, pass over, or do this, or do that. No. You creating an environment with persons, they're getting so aggravated that anything can happen. We need to stop, please.
Another one that seems to be causing some of the problems. Indiscriminate parking. Yes. You just decide that is where you're going.
Just pull up.
You just park right there. They don't care if it have a vehicle on the other side of the road, so they double park. They don't care which direction the traffic going. They don't care if it's a one-way street. Just indiscriminate parking. You feel to park there, just park there. And all of these things. That's why the police have to be doing what they're doing with the clamping in town, because they need to get rid of that in town. But outside of the town, there's also people just parking up any and anywhere, and it is causing some of the problems. Yeah? Yes. Okay, Depot.
Yeah, we could arrange that depot.
That's minor thing.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, because we want to do a program from up there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is one of the problems. But another one, and a major one, one that all of us are guilty of from time to time if we don't pay attention to what we're doing. Please, the lights on full beam in the night, the person coming opposite direction cannot see where they're going. They cannot see if it have somebody stand up on the side of the road. They cannot see if they're going to touch the edge of a wall. They can't see if they're going down in a culvert. They can't see sometimes even if there's a vehicle parked there or something jutting out to the side or a tree. Whatever, they cannot see. And then you have some drivers doing that. And believe me, some of the buses are very guilty of that because they have extremely bright lights
Extra bright.
That they keep on bright. And understand. And one thing I try to do is understand it from different people's perspective. You're driving. You have your bus. You have the light on high beam because you want to see somebody coming out from the little track there or somebody coming out from somewhere. You want to see them in advance so that you could stop in time to pick up that person so that you make the extra dollar. I could understand it. But at the same token, you're blinding the people coming in the next direction.
Yeah.
And some of them just flash it, Like they're trying to signal the person now.
You
working.
you
can see a bus in the night. You can't tell necessarily if they're working or not. So sometimes they flash it, flicker it,
to let you know you're working.
and they blind you in the next direction.
Dread, even pedestrians having a problem with some of these lights. You basically have to stop on the side of the road to allow particular vehicles to pass because it blinds you.
And here's what happens. Sometimes they do this thing, a vehicle crash, and they ain't even stop, just continue going.
No
so a vehicle, let's take this call. We have a caller trying to get through.
Good morning and welcome.
Wait, no, they want to take me call or what?
Sorry,
what kind of thing is that?
Sorry about that.
I go prank call you now.
Don't put sanction on us.
All right, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Yeah, as you all were talking about the rules and so forth, and vehicular traffic, I want to compliment the Ministry of Works for erecting not a pedestrian, a walkway along the Central Street area.
Yes.
This is an area I was looking at, which may cause, without that, may cause a lot of accidents, like vehicle bumping people and things like that.
Yes.
And I welcome that.
Very much so, man.
Okay, guys.
All right. Yeah, I really want to extend on that. Congratulate the Ministry of Works and the parliamentary representative, St. Andrews Southwest, and a team, right? In doing such a great job, putting that sidewalk right alongside the Grenville Recreation Ground, right there, so pedestrians can be above the road, right?
Okay,
so they can
down in the road again.
down in the road and it become dangerous. Excellent work, right? An idea done by both the Ministry of Work and the parliamentary representative of St. Andrews Southwest, Honorable Yolande being also. She has been doing a lot of work, especially around that Grenville playing field right there. And so the walls and so, and showing that it's up to mark. That whole sidewalk took away all the palm and so. Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning to Mr. Scott and your listening audience. Now, in the future, don't try to steal my thunder about the sidewalk.
You get beat to it.
Yes. Now, I listened to and I'm glad to see what they're doing on the outside of Victoria Park. I don't know what plans they have for how they smooth up the outside.
Yes.
But I hope what they will do, they will use the blocks to set advertising spots.
Advertising spots. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the conditions for that, it must be, if not every year, every 2 years, they must, paint it fresh and keep it nice. Not like it done, how they have it done in the Mount Camille area down there.
Every year.
Yeah. Now, let me quickly make that point here. I listened to the press conference this morning, and I was very happy to hear the Minister of Education said that one of the initiatives they intend to put forward is to launch in the initiative they want to launch in St. Andrews is a is a council of ministers.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what format it will take, but I do hope it will it will be geared, towards the development of the big parish. But more so, to me, my real issue here is this one: the Grenville bus terminal. But I must say, now, the 4 representatives of the big parish must express to the minister responsible for the Grenville bus terminal the urgency involved in making the bus terminal fully functional. The lack of urgency is stifling the growth and major commerce in Grenville. Let us remember what the slogan is. Let's keep moving. Mr. Scott, anytime you're in Grenville, Devon, unless you're playing blind when you could see. You know when we enter in the Grenville bus terminal, where the buses enter.
Yeah.
When we come across that bridge, we know this bridge is as a result of a canal that takes all the water from the park and all the waters from the surrounding communities in that area.
Yep.
And it takes it through that area there. I want you to see where they park our old catamaran.
Yes. Yes.
Over 5 months now. And that catamaran, it is right in the way where the sanitation
river
workers
mouth.
just have to buff,
Yeah.
the sand for the water to drain. That catamaran is right in the way. And I'm trying to figure out, if, the guy who park it there, maybe he don't think. But I want to know if we paying people not to think. Because I'm of the opinion that something like that, how come nobody don't see? Nobody don't see that? I don't know who is responsible, but I'm making that point now and I'm making the plea. So those who is responsible, they need to look at it, and this person, they must move that boat from the area where it is. Gentlemen, have a pleasant day.
Point well
All
taken.
right, brother.
Yeah, it is definitely an eyesore and a hindrance to the mouth of that lagoon itself. Yeah.
Yeah, folks, we are out of time, but just a reminder, tomorrow we should be having Dr. Fleming in with us. We'll reconfirm with him today. We should be having Dr. Fleming in with us tomorrow. And we'll be having an interesting discussion.
Compile your questions.
Interesting discussion with him in relation to various psychological issues and so. We're seeing a lot of that around.
A lot of that, and we need someone with that experience and the know-how to, to help us as a people, to deal with some of that.
Yeah. So, folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. It's been wonderful being here with you. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And whatever you say and do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you.
And not about you.
We are
Depot
out
later.
The Grenada government.
The girl comes with the wine pan Snapchat, but me want see the wine in a real life. The party bad from my rich inside the session. I drunk already because I had some stress and I take some shots. But the amount I take really touch the spot. But remember, on the 6th of February, we touched down Cowpen Big Yard, gonna get Sheldon till building fell down. And remember, we have $1,000 giveaway for the biggest and the baddest crew because this is the launch of the big bad tune called Run With It First Fet, and you don't know the whole place gonna get turned over. We run with everything. Remember, it's me, alongside Beanie Man, alongside Farmer Nappy, alongside Valine, alongside Leadneck, Lava Man. You don't know the whole place gonna get shell. Mr. Killer say so. Party pan! I had some stress, so I take some shots. The amount I take really touch the spot.
On the stroke of midnight, it's February 7th. It's our nation's birthday. It's time for the biggest celebration in our nation's history as we celebrate the 45th anniversary of our independence. Folks from all walks of life, from all over Grenada, will head on down to the Kirani James Athletic Stadium from 12 p.m. It's the Made in Grenada Expo, a showcase of locally produced goods and services offered on display. As you enter the Independence Village, experience steel band music, big drum dancers from Carriacou, Tambu Bamboo, Shortney, Jab Malasi, poetry, singing, live music, Solid the Band, everything Grenadian. At 3:30 p.m., military parade onto the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, followed by the Independence Rally, cultural pieces, Prime Minister's address, one fun-filled afternoon, and not to be missed. Organize your rides, your buses, your motorcade, and head on down to the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, Thursday, February 7th, celebrating under the theme, building resilience and enhancing social and economic transformation.
What? Man, don't try to tie me up. I love Grenada the most. Wednesday, February the 6th, our fete. Red, green, yellow, Cowpen, Big Yard. It's going to be mad. Salute. Lavaman, the real mad one. Fly the Joan. Independence celebration. You can't trust people. Madam.
The pride and joy of a nation is its flag. Its colors and arrangement makes it significant and stunningly beautiful. On Wednesday, February 6th, it's National Colors Day. Every proud Grenadian is asked to deck off in clothing highlighting the colors of our flag. Whether you are dressed for work, daily routines, or casual engagements, showcase the true Grenadian spirit. Every ministry, every department, and all workplaces are encouraged to join in. National Colors Day, Wednesday, February 6th, 2019. Endorsed by the National Celebrations Committee. Our people, our colors, our day. On Wednesday, February 6th, National Colors Day.
He is coming. Live from Kingston, Jamaica.
Who got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I?
The undisputed king of dancehall.
From the king of the dancehall.
Come into the Cowpan to be part of our 45th Independence celebration.
We are celebrating life.
Our colors, our fete. The night before the holiday.
Let's go to the
Cowpan. Wednesday, 6th February. Beanie Man. Get your limited $30 early bird tickets now at major ticket outlets nationwide. Grenada, he is coming.
You want me to go? You can be looking the way you do. You can be hooking.
Farmer Nappy, the night before the holiday. It's one place and one place only. Cowpan. Our colors. Our fat. Farmer Nappy is coming. Cowpan. Get your limited $30 early bird tickets now at major ticket outlets nationwide.
You can be looking the way you do.
The pride and joy of a nation is its flag. Its colors and arrangement makes it significant and stunningly beautiful. On Wednesday, February 6th, it's National Colors Day. Every proud Grenadian is asked to deck off in clothing highlighting the colors of our flag. Whether you are dressed for work, daily routines, or casual engagements, showcase the true Grenadian spirit. Every ministry, every department, and all workplaces are encouraged to join in. National Colors Day, Wednesday, February 6th, 2019. Endorsed by the National Celebrations Committee. Our people, our colors, our day. On Wednesday, February 6th, National Colors Day.
Grenada's plans to transform the agriculture sector highlighted at international meeting in Guyana. Details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, January 29th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. Some of Grenada's plans to transform the agriculture sector took the spotlight at the 17th session of the Committee for the Review of the Implementation of the UN Convention to Combat Desertification, or UNCCD, being held in Guyana. The plans were highlighted by this country's Agriculture Minister, the Honorable Yolande Bain Hosford, who is among more than 400 delegates from all over the world. A major talking point is the link between desertification, land degradation, and climate change. Minister Bain Hosford spoke to some of the initiatives to tackle the challenges.
Grenada undertook the setting up of the Voluntary Land Degradation Neutrality, LDN, targets, and that should be achieved by 2030. And the targets were increase the fertility and productivity of 580 hectares of cropland by 2030, transform 800 hectares of abandoned cropland into agroforestry, by 2030. Implement soil conservation measures on 120 hectares of land by 2030. Rehabilitation of 385 hectares of degraded land at Bellevue South in Carriacou, that's an island near to Grenada, small island, by 2030. Rehabilitation of 100 hectares of degraded forest in Grenada and Carriacou by 2030, and increase forest carbon stocks by 10% by 2030. These are the targets that we hope to achieve.
The Agriculture Minister also provided information on a Moroccan government-funded project that relates to soil mapping.
Regarding soil care, the transformative project, funded by the Moroccan government, we started a project in soil care and the mapping of the soil, etc. in Grenada. We now have almost completed that project. We can hand over to the farmers now pretty soon information so that they can do their proper planting, they can know the fertility of their soil, they can know how much fertilizer to put in their soils, what not to put, and that kind. So they will have a status on their soils in Grenada. We have done that project. It's almost completed. And that would be a plus for the farmers, knowing, how much fertilizer to add to their soil, what they can, do to their soil, knowing how healthy their soils are and what they can plant, and the timing and all of that. All of that is part of the whole soil care program in Grenada, and it's going very well.
Grenada is also represented at the meeting by Mr. Trevor Thompson, focal point for the UN Convention to Combat Desertification. The convention will conclude on Wednesday. The government of Grenada has made good on a promise to introduce traffic wardens as part of innovative efforts to bolster the work of the traffic department of the Royal Grenada Police Force. The move comes against the background of a significant increase in the number of vehicles on the nation's roads, a growing number of traffic offences committed by motorists, and an ongoing need to safeguard pedestrians. Addressing the 60 persons who are being trained as the first group of traffic wardens, Minister for Transport, the Honourable Gregory Bowen, said this is the first component of the solution to fix the traffic situation.
Every year, during the last 5 years, from 2013 to 2018, the increase in registration was 42%. For ease of calculation, and if we use a 50%, that is, if the number of vehicles, the registration number increased by 1,000 in 2013, there will be an increase of 500. So the increase in the next year will be 1,500. And the next year will be 2,200. So between that period and now, the actual number was in the range of 19,000 vehicles, which approached now 36,000 vehicles. That is a task that we have to address. And you are in the forefront.
Minister Bowen urged the traffic wardens to maintain a harmonious relationship with the motorists and pedestrians alike, and he encouraged them to pay particular attention to the customer service training, which forms part of their course. Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Edwin Martin, cited traffic management as a great challenge for law enforcement daily and expressed optimism that the traffic wardens will improve the efficiency of the traffic department.
Traffic management is a major challenge for law enforcement on a daily basis. And even when there is no law enforcement issue requiring the RGPF's attention, the challenges associated with traffic management remains omnipresent. This challenge is further exacerbated by the fact that the number of registered vehicles on island has increased by an average of 68% over the last 5 years and continues to grow. This makes traffic management not only challenging, but also a critical operational matter requiring law enforcement attention on a 24-hour basis, 7 days a week. It is also safe to say that the sheer increase in the volume of traffic, when combined with individual driver and pedestrian negligence, as well as non-compliance with our traffic regulation, are major drivers to the increase in accidents we are witnessing currently. The traffic warden system is considered to be a critical element among a number of other strategies to be implemented to effectively address the current and future challenges related to traffic management.
The Ministry of Health is developing a national emergency unit for Grenada. The intention is to enhance the ministry's ability to efficiently respond to emergencies in the quickest possible time.
We held 2 meetings with key stakeholders to develop a policy to govern that response team. One of our objectives of this initiative is to have ambulance placed in strategic places, our location, to respond to emergencies. Why we want to do that? Is it an effort to reduce our response time? As we all know, there are delays in our response time. We hear it on the media and so on. And to provide quality care in a timely manner.
That's Ms. Joanna Humphrey, Deputy Director of Hospital Services. She was speaking during the handover of an ambulance to the Crash Fire Rescue Department at the Morris Bishop International Airport. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
It is here again, it is here again. The Made in Grenada Expo is here again. And I just hope the whole of Grenada ready, because I sung in a clarion call. The Made in Grenada Expo is here again. The Made in Grenada Expo is on February 7th, and the public is encouraged to come out and give full support and buy out all local products on show. Products manufactured right here in Grenada, 100% Grenadian, and it's happening right here at the National Stadium. Are taking in the Independence Parade and the Made in Grenada Expo one time. I am so excited. That's why I'm making a fireside. I bring my tent, my blanket and all kind of thing, and I'm camping right here until everything done on February 7th. The Made in Grenada Expo is here again.
Your new Independence Morning, celebrating 45 years. Give it up for Sour Serpent!
Sour Serpent Sean Niles is still savouring the taste of victory in the Independence Calypso competition, which was held at the Sater's bus terminus on Saturday. 14 Calypsonians competed for the title, which was captured last year by Rootsman Kelly, who did not take part in the competition this year. Top Cat placed second, followed by German superstar Simon third, Baraka fourth, and the Messenger fifth. Acting Minister for Culture and the Arts, the Honourable Kate Lewis, says this is a proud moment for Grenadians as the country celebrates 45 years as an independent nation.
As we look back on our 45 years, we can do so with pride and dignity. Because as a nation, as a people, we have made tremendous strides despite the challenges that we have had to overcome.
Other major activities that are yet to come include the cultural extravaganza on Saturday, February 2nd, the ecumenical service on February 3rd, village beautification and oil dunk competition February 5th, National Colors Day on February 6th, and the National Parade at the National Stadium on February 7th. And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.